much faster than my feet. Oh, I waited so long, this feeling's still strong too.
Well, we didn't find out that we were that I was pregnant until I was 16 weeks along. The reports come back saying that there's triplets, and I said, "You're joking? No, come on." So at 6 months of age, we had to take them to see a physio to get their feet looked at, and then at the end of that time they sat me down and said, "Oh, there might be something wrong with them," and because they weren't sitting up at that stage, they were just lying down, and they couldn't support their heads and that sort of thing. Their heads were floppy, and I thought that was normal because they were my first children. And then, yeah, around about 18 months of age, they were diagnosed with Merosin Deficient Muscular Dystrophy.
Remember over shoulders to my head.
What does muscular dystrophy mean, Anna?
It means you were born with really weak muscles. Like when we were 3, Mum, we would start like we were all that floppy.
Yeah, you're floppy, that's right. You're a little bit stronger now, hey?
I'm still a little bit stronger.
Yep.
And I know I had this funny little thing that I'm sitting on. It's called a wheelchair.
It's played out in each child very differently. So Mahala actually, can walk a little, but she seems to be really weak in her respiratory system. So she's really prone to getting chest infections and that kind of thing, and not able to cough it out to clear it.
Yeah, I'm the one that's walking around and picking up stuff and then keeps dropping stuff. I like walking, but sometimes my legs get a bit tired, so I have to go in my chair. Sometimes they're playing a skipping or jumping game and I can't do it.
Whereas Anwen, say, she's really been really tight in her legs, and then Gideon's just very kind of floppy, and he's actually very flexible, kind of the opposite of Anwen.
Yeah, but but still quite weak in other areas, like with his head and stuff, and neck muscles.
Yeah.
There's a story about Gideon, which is the same as my name, but he wasn't like me. He wasn't in a wheelchair. He could walk.
I've been really pushing to try and get them to be as independent as possible, and maybe I'm being too ambitious or kind of too blind or something, but that really is what I'd love to be able to see them kind of be independent, be able to kind of somehow, I know that they don't have the strength to say walk around, but actually be able to use their brain to overcome that kind of that limitation.
So at the moment we need to do a lot of things for them already, like just day-to-day activities, like just helping them with toileting and dressing and getting them food and that sort of thing. But so the things that they can do themselves, we really want them to be able to do, like just getting their own food and making things and accessing the kitchen for themselves, and just being able to manoeuvre around the house.
So we're probably looking into the future and realising that at the moment we've got we've only got one living space basically, and when you get 3 chairs in there and they're trying to manoeuvre around and do things, there's not enough kind of movement, and they're banging into each other and walls and things.
Into the table and chairs.
The kitchen, they can't get in. They can get into the kitchen but they can't turn around. They can't access anything.
And if you're in the kitchen, you get stuck there. You can't get out without saying, "Okay, reverse, reverse." Yeah.
And then there's a hallway that is not really accessible, and so I guess the confines of this house are
they're becoming very tight,
very apparent. And I think as they get older and bigger, and the bigger chairs, that's going to become more of an issue. And we could spend a fortune on renovating this house and making it a lot bigger, but
it would start to encroach on the yard space, and that actually yard space is important for the kids' freedom as well.
And I guess the other thing with this house is it's up off the ground, so they've got a ramp access into the house, which only one of them can use at a time, and that's very limiting.
It's a real bottleneck.
I think if we could purposely design a house that was aware of 3 wheelchair users, with say a lot opener spaces and say doorways that were fairly wide, maybe even double width, so that there was kind of enough passing space. But just taking into account those sorts of things is why we think we need to. There's a block that we're looking at the moment. We feel fairly set on.
With a new house, we could build it so that it is properly insulated and it is a large enough space so that in winter, when we are a bit housebound because it's too cold outside, there is enough space for all of them to be in, and to be in a warm environment where we're not spending heaps of money like we are at the moment on heating, because it's built efficiently with good insulation and double glazed windows, and that's part of the idea of building a new house, that it can meet those needs as well.
We do have some equity tied up in this house, but it's not going to be enough to be able to build a purpose-built house that's going to kind of facilitate all our needs. So the only way that we can see that it to be possible is if people would want to help contribute towards it, then we've tried to think of different ways that we could do that, like maybe borrowing money from people, or on a no interest basis and all those sort of things. But we would just really appreciate if people wanted to help out, if they contributed towards it. It would be great.
And really enable us to create something really good for our kids that would really help them. Yeah.